Hi there. Today we're taking it back and doing some normal things. Taking care of Mom's car today. She has a 2011 Ford Escape that I've been telling her not to drive because it is extremely unsafe. It's a problem Ford had where the front subframe would rot out and you would take an unexpected right turn into whatever's on the right side of the road, cornfield, telephone pole. So I've been telling her not to drive it. So now we're fixing it because you don't want your mom to hit the telephone pole. So get the subframe put in. I want to show you guys just I've seen this before, I've done these before, but I want to show you what the fix is and what we're going to do to make it not happen again, provided that she actually keeps this car for 5 to 6 more years. I mean, it can happen quick, and I'll show you why. Okay, so you don't really need to take a whole lot of stuff off. I'll tell you, it does help that it's oil coated. One thing that we did at Ford is there was a recall. It was one of the crazy things Ford did. I get why they did it, but it's kind of embarrassing because they should have fixed the issue and just gave everybody subframes, but they didn't. Dollars and cents. So that's why they're billionaires and I'm not. So this is the recall. This is I think I even have a new one because I'm weird. Oh, don't mind me. So I even have new ones, new old stock, because we used to have another Escape, and Escapes everywhere. This is one of my favorite Ford platforms, is the 2000, I think they started in 04 to 2012. Honestly, my favorite Escape platform. Way better. I mean, I love the Kuga version, the European version, the newer, the 13 to 19. We even had one. Thing is, though, those break a lot different and a lot harder, and a lot of stuff sucks a lot more to work on those than it does this. This is a very simple platform. You're not going to get the best fuel economy, but the Duratec V6 and even the Duratec 4-cylinder and the hybrid as well, the Atkinson engine, they're all great. You can fix them with minimal tooling and just, it's good stuff. Minimal tools. But anyway, so this is what happens. You bolt this up underneath the subframe. I'll show you on a new subframe. This is a new subframe, if anybody wants one. They're readily available at your Ford dealer. Let me flip it around here for you. There's your part number right there. But it's going to cost you around $550 bucks. But if you love your mom, like I do, very important. No unexpected right turns. Nobody dying. So what this does, this recall, goes in right underneath where the front of the lower control arm, so this being the front of the vehicle, okay? Your lower control arm, bolt here. I actually got a control arm, I can mop it up and show you. Okay, so, we have this side. I'm all screwed up because it's upside down. That's where that would go. They gave you these little nuts here. Okay, and you'd fish them up in here. I got really good at this, I'm really fast. Okay, so you put your bolt in, 18mm bolt. They give you the bolt, the little triangle nut and everything. And what you'd have to do is stick your pry bar up in here and hold it as you run it in with an impact. And basically what this did was, because it would rot out right here, and we'll show you that in a minute, it would hold the whole front of the car together. And you would notice a little bit of weird steering, and their hope, I'm guessing, was you'd go to the dealership and they'd go, hey, whoa man, your whole thing's rotted out, you need a new subframe. But this is probably, I don't know, 1/8 inch steel. And here's part number for this. So that was their hope. I'm gonna put this back on just because it's, I don't know, it stiffens up the front suspension maybe. When I get done with this is not gonna rot out again. So I'll show you the main issue with this is what kills a lot of subframes actually. Where did I put my light? Squirrel! I found my light.
I almost wish I would have recorded you looking for it.
It was on the ground, right in front of me. The most obvious place. So that's where they hide. We're gonna come under here and I'll show you what happens to these things. Alright. So you got 4 bolts that hold this thing to the body. And it holds the rear transmission mount, the rack and pinion, the sway bar, and the wheels, the control arms, the ball joint, you know. So, pretty important piece of rotted out metal. So what happens is, that'll rust so much to where this will go through, and you'll see it's tracking. I have to transfer this rack over, but it's tracking all the way across. I've seen this whole arm come off. And this is right where your lower control arm bolts to. Let's see what side we got here. So this is the other side. Shout out to Netflix, great music. Alright. You got 2 bolts, and then that's your lower ball joint there. So all that movement, right? You're going down the road, the thing's wanting to pull like this, every bump you hit. Look at all that was holding that. Nothing. I mean, you're gonna have, if this goes like this, obviously it's gonna spin. It's gonna want to go with the way of the direction the tire wants to travel, which is without this being tied in right there, it's going to want to go outward. So once it does that, you're going to get, the only thing that's going to be holding you is the tie rod end, which isn't going to be good. And it's going to wrap around into the fender, and God forbid you're doing 70 miles an hour, and you're not going to be able to recover from that. So please, please, please hop under these things and check them, because that is not good. There's nothing Ford is doing about this as far as now, just because the car's aged out. Watch, I do this and they do something like Toyota with the old Tacomas, and they issue a frame recall and then they start giving them to everybody. I'll be saving my receipt, put it that way. But this is what I did to drop it. I left the rack, I left the sway bar, just because these bolts up here are a lot easier to get to on the ground. So disconnect your top sway bar link bolt. There's a 17 millimeter nut. I believe this is a 15. These are Ford links. These are my favorite, even though they wear out. They last a lot longer. And the aftermarket sway bar links, I find the bodies are too big, and they'll give you a grease fitting. And they'll actually rub into the actual body of the car, which is no good. So I actually like these little links from Ford. But I'm going to do some sway bar bushings and just refresh everything. But I just want to show you this. This is a major issue. And I pushed this off by hand right over here. So I was just being a smart aleck, and I just pushed on it, and it kept going, so I took it off. But that's one of the 4 mounting bolts. It's a stud up here. It mounts it to the body. Not good. So, and you see, I'm gonna be, I don't know if you guys would be interested, but I'm gonna be doing I'm gonna do an oil pan and a timing job to this car because it's at 191,000 miles. It's been a good ride. It's pretty solid underneath still. But I'm gonna reseal that some oil change place because she didn't want to bother me. Moms don't want to bother you. If you're a mechanic, you know what I'm talking about, guys. And then you see them get railroaded by some shop or Tuffy or Jiffy Lube that does a transmission flush or an oil change and puts a oversized drain plug in and just rams it in there. So I'm confident that that oil pan is going to be no good for what it's worth to replace. So we'll replace that and seal up the front cover after we time it because she's due. But really, I mean, that's the awesome thing about these cars, and I know I'm talking a lot, but these cars could go 191,000 miles on an original timing chain, which is awesome. This is the better design of Duratec. If you come over here, you'll see they should have never got rid of this design. Never. So that belt up there, let me see, we got a valve cover leak too. That is the exhaust cam on bank 2. It has a belt on it, and that drives with a little water pump, which is underneath all that. We didn't really plan on showing you that, but it'll it makes doing the water pump a lot easier. The newer 3.5s, 3.7s, they have a timing chain driven water pump, which is very Chrysler-esque, if you ask me, like Intrepid style. I think Intrepid's had those, but the 2.7. But this is a way better design because I've seen the water pumps go with the timing chain driven water pumps start leaking out the weep hole as soon as 20,000 miles. And I've also seen replacements start leaking 10,000 miles later. So they should have never changed that stretchy belt water pump off the exhaust cam. Far superior design. That one bolts on externally. So, but yeah, that's about it. Just wanted to show you guys a little bit of what we're doing. Comment, like if you want, dislike, doesn't matter. Some people don't like me, that's fine. So if you want to see anything with the timing job, if you want to see the finished product, let me know. Otherwise, I'm probably gonna just do something, upload something else. Filming equipment is coming. We're still an unpaid channel, so it comes very slowly, but it is coming. And just know that we're gonna be trying to bring you more stuff. Me not knowing how to talk to a camera. All right, see you later.